we have been through hell to get this up and running.
Maybe this is how all startups work. I don't know.
Being an entrepreneur is a roller coaster. There's a degree of imposter syndrome whenever you're starting out something too new.
The problem is a lot of podcast studios overcharge.
This legitimately makes us the best podcast studio solution in the whole of London.
That is exactly what we are.
This episode is sponsored by Vorbos. Check them out in the description below. So we have changed our business. We had a model that we hadn't even launched what the model was going to be.
No.
And before we've launched it, we've already scrapped it, essentially, in favor of something that is actually even more profitable and actually even more value for people. So
it's actually, like we should clarify, that's actually less profitable for us. But we're doing because it adds more value, which it genuinely does.
That's true. We are taking a hit in terms of what the potential profitability is in the short term.
Yeah.
But to offer more value and offer a better product. And I think that's actually quite significant because I think it's very easy when you don't have money and you're early stages in a new business to kind of have that thing of like anything for a check.
Yeah.
You know, just anything to get the money over the line. And so I think making a decision that's like, okay, we recognize that we probably won't make as much from this, at least in the short term. However, we can now really stand confidently behind the product that we're going to be offering. Whereas I think the product that we were going to be offering was still good value, but I think comparative. I think it's more the fact that, like, as we discussed last week, when you have an offer that's genuinely so good, it makes anything else look bad by comparison. And so I think we basically took a view at the end of last week. So for anyone listening or watching, in our last episode, we essentially decided what our new model was going to be is that we were going to have a consumer-facing pricing point and then a business-facing price point. And the business price point also included social media management and basically like a management service. And our consumer price point was essentially going to be, you get an hour of studio time, you get the edit, and you get the short-form content with it. And we realized that for that price point, that was such a compelling offer. And when we looked at our offer for businesses, when it came to, you know, social media management and everything else that came alongside that, we just didn't necessarily feel as though we could comfortably make that offer and that it would do as much justice and give as much value as our consumer-facing model would.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think we just looked at how much, like, we looked at how good the consumer-facing model was and thought, for what we're offering, this legitimately makes us the best podcast studio solution in the whole of London.
And that's not even an understatement.
No.
An overstatement, sorry.
No.
Because that is exactly what we are.
Yeah.
And as you said, we decided to just double down on our skill set. We're very good at creating podcasts.
Yeah, and so to clarify, what we've decided to do now is that we've now essentially scrapped our agency business targeting and price point, and we're purely focusing on consumers. So from now on, we are essentially only offering an hourly rate for the studio, which includes editing and social content, and we're no longer offering social media management and a kind of business management style format.
So the studio's available for hire by the hour as of now.
Yeah. So actually, yes, for now. So for anyone watching at home, if you go to wearegroundfloor.co.uk, as you can see from the link down there, you can now rent this studio out by the hour. And for an hour, you don't just get studio time, unlike every other podcast studio in London. If you rent this studio by the hour, that is included with editing and short form clips for social media, which is insane. And for the price point we're offering it at, it's incomparable to anyone else in London. And it feels really, really good to have an offer that you understand, you know how it's going to deliver, but also knowing, like, we've been in this game for a little while now. We were recording at someone else's studio, obviously, before we had ours. And so we know what the pain points are. We know how much we were paying. And so to actually have been through that process and now be in a situation where it's like, okay, we can make our own studio. If we wanted to make a studio, what would we want? How would we want to do it? And just solve all of those problems. And for an insanely competitive price, that feels good.
It really does. You can stand behind your product and your business because there isn't another studio in London that offers what we're offering for the price that we're offering it at.
No. So for clarity, if you would like to record here for an hour, it's £175. That's it for an hour, including a full video edit, a full audio edit, and social media clips. You will not find that anywhere else in London.
4K cameras as well.
Yeah, 4K camera setup. You get the custom branding on the TV, so you can have your podcast logo up there. Custom LED lighting on the table.
Free tea and coffee.
Free tea and coffee. Yeah, we have a producer. Producer
Yeah.
Barney will be here to let you in, so you get to meet a celebrity.
True.
So it's just a really good offer, and I think it feels really nice to be able to not feel like shaky or nervous about telling people about your business or what you do, because there's just that. I don't know, there's a degree of imposter syndrome whenever you're starting out something too new, but I think this doesn't feel like we're starting something new because we've been doing it.
Because we know it, yeah. No, it's true. And I'm really excited that it is now officially launched by the time this comes out.
Yes.
So, yeah, I just find it weird how it's just gone full circle, to be honest. I know I was talking about that with Barney earlier today, and he did actually justify why it has gone full circle, but I still find it weird. Maybe that's just the way it goes. Maybe this is how all startups work. I don't know.
Maybe
they iterate the product, they change it, they kind of go through developments or whatever.
But this is the thing. I know that you said earlier today, you were like, what is wrong with us? Like, how have we gone from this model to this model to this model to this model? But it's like, that is the journey of like a startup. That is the journey. Like, you're constantly just, you don't know what it is yet. And if you, the mistake is to not do that. The mistake is to be like, this is our idea of what our product is. We're taking this product to market. And then the market says no. And we go, no, but this is the product. It's like, no, you listen to the market.
Yeah.
You see what people are interested in. You see what they'd like. And then you just refine and tune so that you get a better and better offer.
Very true. It's like Jeff Bezos said. He said, be stubborn on the vision. And then he said, be flexible on the short term.
I haven't heard that. Yeah. Be stubborn on the vision.
Be stubborn on the vision and be flexible in the short term.
On the short term. Yeah. I like that.
It's just, as long as you know where you want to go, how you get there, you can iterate and you can change whatever. But as long as you know your North Star.
And I think this is the thing. It's not like we've switched from, a podcast business to like a bakery. We know that we want to work in podcasting. We know that we want to run a podcast business, and we know that we have experience in podcasting from doing it ourselves.
We do.
We've had our podcast running for just under a year now. In 11 months, we've had 2 sponsors, over 100,000 views on YouTube. Like, we've got some credentials behind us, and we know what we're doing. So it's just a question of figuring out the most efficient vehicle to do that, whether that was purely agency focused monthly, whether it was purely consumer, whether it was a hybrid of the two.
No, and I think we found it, but it's like I was saying to you the other day, it's refreshing to know that we've actually managed to build a very, very good product, but there is still that part of me that's sort of nervous about how the market will react to it. That's all. And that's an unknown. As we said earlier, that is an unknown based on all the research that we've done and the experience we've had over the last 18 months of doing this ourselves. We're very confident that we can come to the market and people will be wanting to buy our product. And so that fills me with a lot of confidence, but there is still that part of me, the 5%, that thinks, okay, you just don't know how the market's going to react, do you? But I suppose that's part of the uncertainty.
Well, that being said, on the drive over here, we signed a new client.
We did. Yeah, we did.
On the new model, basically.
Yeah.
So, and they were like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And that's really good to hear. And actually, I remember when you said to me last week, you said you mentioned this to someone.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, oh yeah, by the way, we're switching up the model. This is what it's going to be. And they nearly bit your hand off.
They did. I know, which is also really reassuring. And then she's exactly the same person that closed today. So, it is reassuring. I know, but maybe I'm just skeptical or nervous or the two. I don't know. But there's that part of me that thinks, okay, it's only 5%, I'd say now, but there's still that part of me. But no, I'm just so happy that we've actually got a good product that we can stand by.
Yeah, something you can be proud of.
100%.
And I think you don't have that stress of imposter syndrome or what if this, what if that, and I think that's kind of the same thing that a lot of people have, where they imagine a client. I think probably a lot of people when they start a new business, especially like a service-based business, is they have the kind of fear in their head of like the client one day turning around and being like, you have no idea what you're doing, do you? You absolutely you haven't got a clue. Yeah. And it's just like this nightmare. Kind of like when you see people who are like scared to like talk to a girl because they think in their head like the girl's gonna, you're like, hey, nice to meet you. And they'll be like, this man's trying to flirt with me or something, And they'll be like, oh God, which would never happen. The same thing, a client would never just turn around and be like, you have no idea,
Yeah,
but it's that fear. So I think eliminating that sense of imposter syndrome or that sense of fear and being like, no, we've done this, we know this.
Yeah, I agree. It makes you feel good. I suppose the challenge is, as we said to Barney on the way here, as he was saying, was if we come to, where are we now, November? If we get to sort of February, basically the lease here comes up in April next year, sorry. And of course, at that point, we need to decide what we're doing. We're either staying here with the studio because it's doing really well, or we get rid of the studio because it's not doing very well at all. Or the challenge is, those are 2 very obvious decisions to make, but the challenge is when you're at that midpoint and you're thinking, right, are we now investing another 12 months basically into a studio, and that'll be a challenge.
Because essentially it's like you said, if it's either way, if we're if it comes to March, let's say next year, and we're doing like 5k 10k profit, then it's a no-brainer. We just keep it running. But if it gets to the point, and likewise, if it gets to the point where we're literally barely covering rent, then we have to sack it in and call it a loss. But if it gets to the point where we're bringing in like 1,500 profit or something, then it's like,
It's tough then.
You know, do we keep it going or, you know? So that's where it gets kind of tough.
There's a part of me that would want to keep it going.
That would want to.
Yeah, if we're doing...
Because you're a glutton for punishment.
Not just that, but I feel like it'd be too early to give up on it, I think. Completely.
No, I agree.
I think even if we were, let's say...
But I think if we do it for... not to cut you off, but I think if we are going for... Because right now we're in November. If we're going for November, December, January, February, March, that's 5 months. If in 5 months... Because we know our numbers, and we know that to be able to be profitable, like decently profitable, it's not like astronomical by any means. So if we get to like March next year and we're scraping by barely profitable, then I don't think there is a business here. But I don't what? Because I don't think that's going to be the case.
No, I don't think that'll be the case at all. I don't. Even though there is the 5% of me that is worried about how the market react, I don't think that'll be the case.
But I think that with the okay, go on.
I just don't know how I feel about giving up on a business. I'll be honest. Like I don't know. There's a part of me that just thinks like, just go. It's tough. Just go. Like you've got a great product. It will work.
But
somehow it'll work.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I agree with you, and I think it will go. But I'm saying over the next 5 months, the product is so good, and we have so many marketing avenues to explore that it will go. We already have like some proof of concept because people are willing to pay for it. So I'm not worried about it going. What I'm saying is, in a reality where in 5 months' time it hasn't gone, then it's a case of not like, oh, giving up on the business. Then it's a case of, okay, if we keep going, then we have expenses to pay. We have rent and Barney.
True. So
if you get to April next year and we're struggling to barely pay rent and Barney, sounds like I'm saying Barney's a rent boy. If we're struggling for rent and Barney, if I keep saying rent and Barney, it sounds like renting Barney. If we struggle to, if we're struggling renting Barney.
Renting Barney, if anyone needs an editor.
We'll get Barney to cut that out of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, silly.
He just puts that on loop for an hour. But no, if we're struggling to pay rent and Barney come April next year, then the idea of locking yourself in to another like 2K a month for another year.
I know. Your logical mind kicks in, but then it's just like all the money.
I know.
It's just all the money.
I know.
We've put so much.
It would be
money
close to
into
50K
this.
at that point.
Like I just think, God.
Yeah, it would be close to 50K.
Give us a break. Like I'm so sick of like just making rent or just making bills
or not making rent
or worrying if we'll do it and then going to like maybe we'll do 20K a month and then it's like it's just I just want the like. I don't know, some predictable income where we can start to get some money back and we can start to build the business. Because it's so scalable. Again, this model is so scalable.
And it's
Why
so good.
When I say that?
No, I'm not laughing. I'm smiling because I'm thinking about the fact that like we have been through hell.
It's been tough.
To get this up and running. But
to get break even.
Yeah, but like I said to you like half an hour ago, like most businesses aren't even profitable within the first year.
You are
Sometimes the first 3 years. If we can get this profitable by March next, and look, it won't be profitable by March. It'll be profitable probably by like January.
Yeah, true.
So
dude, when you put like, sorry to interrupt you, when you put it like that, like imagine if we'd taken out a pizza stand or a pizza shop,
right?
And we had outgoings that are far greater than what we've got,
right?
Every single month, and you're locked in for a much longer lease.
And then let's say you're profitable after like 9 months,
yeah,
and like decently profitable,
yeah.
So, I'm smiling because I'm thinking we have been through hell, but it's one of those things where we've been through hell because we keep trying to figure it out. It's like problem solving. It's like just one big Rubik's Cube. We keep trying to figure out how to make it profitable. And now we have, but well, touch wood, we have. But I also think there's something to be said for what we've learned through those different methods, learning why they didn't work. That is also valuable. And I'm not trying to do that whole like, listen, it's not all about the money. We've also learned a lot of lessons, but there is value in what we've learned. And
definitely,
as we said the other day, any other business that we start, we have like, I mean, God, man, we have so much more experience just from starting this.
No, we definitely
than we would have had if we hadn't done it.
No, we definitely do. We've learned a hell of a lot along the way, 100%. But I think we both agree that it's about time that we started to get something
100%
back from it.
100%.
Because at the moment it really has.
We deserve it. We've worked really fucking hard for a very long time, and we've risked a lot of money and like, because again, when you think about it, if we get come April, if we haven't broken even by April, we will have basically spent 50K.
Yeah, We would have. Yeah.
So
That's fine. We got equipment and we got money in the equipment. It's all good, man.
got about seven grand lying around the room. That makes up for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
So for us to basically risk 50k, but then to turn it around and make profit on it, that's cool.
Yeah, that
And
is
we will
true.
make it happen.
We have to.
We have to.
So,
but there's also
there
too
is,
many ways
like-
for it not to happen. Because we now, and also this is the other reason why we've pivoted from having kind of a dual model to having a solo model,
yeah.
is that we're now focusing all of our efforts on one thing. There's no like, oh, if you like this, we have this. If you like this, it's like, no, this is what we do. We do it the best way. We do it at the best price. That's it. There's no contracts. There's no monthlies. There's no this. There's no that.
Yeah.
We have this product. It's at the most competitive price. And we're the best at it. Done.
No, and there's a lot to be said for that, being that succinct.
Mm.
There is a lot to be said for it. Yeah, no, like it's we've landed on a great product. There's no doubt about that. We've landed on a great product. So now we just need to get eyes on it, don't we? So that's going to be the challenge. We've got a whole marketing campaign set up, if you like. We've got, what was it, like 13 avenues of marketing, I think? 14 avenues of
And
marketing.
actually, if you include word of mouth, it's 15.
True. Yeah, true.
15 marketing avenues, man.
Yeah.
And only like 4 of them are paid. So
True.
we have so many ways to get clients. So many ways. And we know that our break-even number is like
Very doable.
10 hours a month,
Yeah.
which means we'd be able to pay Barney's salary and rent. 10 hours. We have 15 avenues of marketing alone. If we can even get one person from each of those avenues.
Yeah. Well, so it's actually probably a bit less than that now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Since the journey on the way here. Bit
That's
less.
true.
But we can, but obviously we'll work that out. And then what I'm excited for as well next is when the business does well and people start to hear about it and they book it and we're making good money off it and everyone's winning as a result of it and we're finally getting something for our effort and blood, sweat and tears, is when we then scale it, you know, and we can have other ones in other cities in the UK or other cities even in the US or abroad or who knows, wherever. You just have you have a brand, you know. You
That's
become
very
like
exciting.
the go-to place for podcast recording.
It's very exciting. I'm excited about the idea of like building out another studio, like a bigger one.
Yes, me too.
That's really exciting.
Yeah,
to
me too. That'd be fun. Searching for office space.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
designing
yeah.
it with the furniture and
Yeah.
that'd be fun. Because I mean, like we had so many limitations initially when we were looking for space. Now we haven't got any of that.
We haven't got any of those limitations. And that was like, talking about the fun of the journey, a big part of the fun was that stage when we were like,
It was. You're right.
looking at office space and like figuring out how much the equipment's going to cost and like, oh, dude, this is going to look sick, you know,
It was that, and actually building it.
and building it.
It was tiring and it was hard work and long
and
nights
visiting different places and being like, oh, dude, we could have the desk here and we could have like the chair here.
Yeah.
So that'd be really fun to open up like another studio
Mm.
if we're that busy, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
We have to think about at what point would we open another studio.
I've just realized, wow, dude, if you think about our competitor that we're thinking of, you know, the hours that we were looking at today,
Oh yeah.
that was only
True. Yeah.
they have one
Yeah, true. I didn't thought of that.
dude.
Multiple studios across London.
But what I'm saying is, think about
Yeah.
how many hours they were doing.
No,
in
I know.
one.
No, I know. But if you had, I mean, my God.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Once you scale to multiple studios, you're bringing in serious money.
I mean, your costs obviously go up because you
But
need to.
but it's minimal though, because the only cost that you really have, I mean, you got setup obviously, which is an upfront cost. That is quite substantial.
Set up,
Rent,
rent,
and salaries.
and salaries. Yeah.
But everything else, I mean, those are just fixed costs. Every month, they're fixed costs. You know exactly where you stand.
Yeah. I mean, you'd need a few staff. You're probably burning like 6K in rent. About maybe
About that probably.
7K in staff.
Yeah, call it 7.
So that's 13, maybe ancillaries. Call it 15K.
Okay.
15K.
So it was
with
that
3
minus
studios.
15.
So 3 studios doing 3 hours a day.
Yeah, 3 hours a day.
Yeah. I'm saying if you like halved it,
Oh, okay. So
that's K a month.
Yeah, minus 15.
So it's grand a month profit.
Yeah.
Which for 3 studios.
But also 3 hours a day is not a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Like,
That is true. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, a lot of them are booked out for 10 hours a day.
Yeah, that's
11
true.
hours a day, you know.
That is true.
Or call it 40 hours a week or something. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like the scalability of it is there.
The scalability.
Right,
is
and you
definitely
can
there,
you can grow the business and you can expand, as I said, nationally, and then hopefully, dude, imagine how cool that would be if one day we're going a trip abroad to visit a studio because we're opening up another arm abroad.
I mean, yeah, man.
That's exciting.
That's very exciting.
Going to view like studio space in New York
That would be
or
lit.
Dubai, something.
That would be sick, dude.
Dubai would be an absolute
Dubai
mecca.
would be.
That would always come.
But the
before
thing
New
is,
York.
though, wasn't it like Mo was talking to us about that, and he was saying like, you know, Dubai would be a good market, but the thing is, in Dubai, they're rich enough that they'll just build their own studio.
Yeah, you do compete with
Do
that.
you know what I mean? They'll just drop.
But that
50 grand.
that can't account for 100% of the population in Dubai.
No, not.
There'll be a good market for it.
You'd need to find someone to like manage the business.
Yeah,
Um,
have an MD for EMEA. Yeah,
yeah.
True.
From Mia.
Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Oh, Mia. Yeah.
Corporate talk.
Yeah.
Corporate talk.
Corp talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves now, talking about who's going to manage our Dubai office.
That's true.
Haven't even got our first customer in yet.
Not even profitable yet. So
But yes, no, the possibilities are great.
they are.
They are great.
Yeah.
And if we, especially if we're making, you know, if we do some really thoughtful set design, especially with the new studios, you know,
Definitely.
you know, we have a desk one, and then we end up making one that has like a really unique looking kind of feel to it, you know.
Yeah, we can cater to every audience. You know, this is this kind of setup. You can have another kind of couch and chair setup or something variation of that, but each studio could almost have a different vibe or feel to it. So you're really catering to like
you could have like
you want.
you could have like fucking
the imagination or juices are going wild.
Huh?
I said go on.
Oh, what, mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like you could have like ground floor X, ground floor Y, ground floor Z, and it's like the atmosphere of X is very like spatial and very this and that. The atmosphere of Y is very much like, you know, direct, and you know, you can make it really arty.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, his fucking corporate brain's like, what does that add to my bottom line? Huh? Arty, abstract. That doesn't sound like pound signs to me.
They'll all look exactly the same.
Yeah, they will all look exactly the same, grey and uniform. And it will bring in exactly the same amount of profit.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Good. Just mock me endlessly, please. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad we pivoted to it.
Me too.
Definitely glad we pivoted to it.
And I feel the same as you, which is like I so desperately want to make some money out of this business. And it's funny, dude. Ben called me the other day, my brother Ben,
Okay.
and he said, he was like, "Oh, how you doing, man?" And I was like,
that's a good question, Ben.
"Yeah." I was like, honestly, man, I don't know how to answer that question anymore. Being an entrepreneur is a roller coaster. One week we're talking about like, oh, we might do 20 grand this month, and then the next week you're thinking like, how are we going to keep the lights on? And it's just the most intense thing.
It's tiring.
It's so tiring. And I think part of it is the fact that like, because we haven't recouped our investment yet.
I think it's a big part of that.
Huge part of it.
My girlfriend said it to me the other day. We're so focused on money.
Yeah.
We're just so focused on money because we need the money and we need to get the money out and we need, you know, to pay ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we just need it, which is why we're so like just focused on that. However, now because we've taken this approach, we're actually not just thinking about the money.
Yeah.
As you said, we've taken a hit from a profitability standpoint, but that's because we actually genuinely believe what we're doing is going to be a far superior product.
Yeah, and I think that's the ultimate difference. Like you said, when you say it's not just about money, it's like this feels more like, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it, but it feels more like a company than just a business, if that makes sense. It feels less like, okay, we know how to do SEO, and okay, we're going to try and find some people to do SEO for them, and etc. Job done, which is more like just a standard kind of let's find a way to get some money, and okay, we have this skill, let's try and sell it, which is nothing wrong with that. But as in, this feels more like something we're actually excited by the idea of it, and being like, yo, have you heard about our studio? Dude, we offer the best thing in London. If you record with us, we will do this, this, and this, and we make it look sick, and we do this and that. That is what's really exciting. That's, I think, the difference between like a startup and like a standard like agency model, for example.
Yeah,
because
that's
you
true.
actually have a product.
That's true.
Yes.
And
So
do it like that.
that's the difference. It feels less like just something we do that, you know, would be good money if we scaled it and XYZ, to being something that we're actually like, yo, this could be really exciting, and we'll be thinking about how can we make it even better, how can we add even more value, how can we make it even more exciting, you know, what else do podcasters want? And we can talk to, and that's the other thing too, we can talk to the people that record with us and be like, hey, we'd love to find out, in terms of like uploading podcasts, building podcasts, growing podcasts, what are you struggling with the most? And finding out ways that we can grow that. Then you're building an actual company. You're not just building a business. You're building an actual company.
Yeah, you got a relationship with your customers.
You got a relationship with your customers, but even more than that, you're building something bigger. You're building something that's like the hub for podcast solutions. You know, at some point we can go into like podcast marketing. We can find a way to, you know, to figure out that avenue. You know, we'll help you market your podcast too. Find ways like that. We don't know how to do that yet, but we can figure it out.
Or even help them source sponsors.
Yeah, sponsorship sourcing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's actually a really good point, because we were going to do that with the other thing anyway. So I think just building out to like
that's true. New offerings.
Yeah, new offerings, and you know, we start with the studio model, and you know, we've already got potentially, you know, podcasts for influencers. We've already got one potentially lined up.
Yeah.
And so there's just the possibilities just really seriously open up from that point.
No, I hadn't thought about that. That's actually a very good point. It's a lot broader than you think. It's not just studios by the hour. There is a lot more to it than
it's
that.
just being the most like creative solution for podcasts.
Yeah, it's just a one-stop shop.
You know what I mean, dude, who's to say at some point we don't essentially get our own like studio space that's blank, and we have that space and we go, okay, we'll work with an influencer who has an audience, and we'll say, look, we'll produce a podcast season for you, and we can completely bespoke make the set for you, and we make the set, and then they film a season, and then we take that set down and build a whole new set for another influencer and XYZ.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good point.
Yeah. You see what I mean? That smile is what I'm talking about. That's the smile of like, whoa, this is a company, and this is a cool company, and it's a company we like. We've got experience in doing it. We are users of the product too. That's another thing too. Like the fact that we have used our own product is valuable. We have been through the studio rental system. We have known what the problems are.
Yeah, we have.
And we have now built our own solution off the back of that. And that's really invaluable.
That's also a very good point as well. Yeah. A lot of it actually brings back to a lot of successful businesses and entrepreneurs. They kind of come to a market and they solve a problem on a much bigger scale. It's like, I remember the guy, Will Shue, the guy who founded Deliveroo, who went on to go on Diary of a CEO, and he was talking about how he came up with the idea for the business. And he was, I think it was Morgan Stanley at the time. But he came to the UK and he basically had no idea what to do for dinner because they were in the office late one night. And everyone was just like, oh, you just get like a meal deal from Tesco. That's just what we all do. He said, what's Tesco? And he went over and he just thought, my God, this is so depressing. This is just bleak. There's got to be a better way of doing it than this. And then that's how he came up with the idea for Deliveroo, about how people can actually have kind of, you know, food delivered to you, gourmet food delivered to you, and of a higher standard. But it's like my point of him kind of finding a problem and then, you know, finding a solution for it, or seeing a problem and finding a solution for it, which is what we've done. When you actually think about it, that's what we've done. You know, the problem is in our industry, a lot of podcast studios overcharge. They do. For the work they do, they overcharge.
That's very true.
They're inflexible, they overcharge, and there is a better way, and we've created it.
Yes, we have. And the sky's the limit for how we can make it even better. I mean, and this is the thing, it's like baby steps. Like what I was saying to you earlier, the goal is like, right now the goal is to break even and test the product to make sure people definitely want to buy it at the price point we're offering and everything else, which again, we're 99% certain they will. We've already had some validation. We got some validation on the drive here.
Yeah, true.
Because someone was already
from a drink from the other night. Yeah.
From the other night, someone was like, this is amazing, we want it. So already we've got some, you know, proof of concept. And then it's just a question of like, okay, take it to market, get to the point where we're breaking even, which we basically will be pretty soon.
Yeah, we will be.
And then it's like, okay, get to the point where we're, you know, making $1,000 a month, then 2, then 5.
Yeah.
And then once we've recouped, then it's like, okay, cool. Now it's like house money.
Yeah.
Now we can just be we don't have to stress. Yes, we have it, you know, because that's the other thing. We'll always have expenses and overheads, as every business does. We'll always have rent. We'll always have Barney and other salaries and ancillaries and blah, blah, blah. But there's something different about having those pressures and knowing that if it all goes wrong tomorrow, that it's like, well, fuck, we tried it and it went down. That's very different to, oh fuck, we tried it and it went down and we're also now 50k in the hole.
Yeah.
That's a very big,
True.
Difference.
This is going to be, this is like this is almost like a make or break moment for the business.
Mm-hmm.
This will either be the thing that takes us to the moon,
Mm-hmm.
or it will be the thing the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah. But that's like,
Damn.
seriously exciting, dude.
It is.
Seriously
The upside
exciting.
to that is just,
Yeah.
wow. Because I haven't even thought about it the way that you talked about it just now, but when you say it like that.
Until I said it, neither had I, dude.
God.
Neither had I. But the more that I say it, it's like, dude,
There's so much breadth there.
so much breadth. And we could literally just double down and keep reinvesting into it.
Yeah.
Like hire out like our own marketing team
Yeah.
to create blog content, short form content, like, build out the brand, make the brand like the go-to place.
Yeah.
Like there's so many ways we can expand it and grow it.
And you're right, it's focusing on the small wins first.
Exactly.
It's not going to 100k or
It's not
getting
thinking
100K
about
man.
who's going to manage our Dubai office.
That's true.
It's about thinking about getting to break even.
Yeah.
You making sure that like, you, me and Barney have all got a decent wage.
Yeah.
Obviously that will happen for Barney a lot sooner because we've incorporated that into our expenses so that he can hopefully have a salary within the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But even for us, like, obviously we love that we can pay Barney, but we also want to be able to fucking make some money and live off it ourselves.
Definitely.
So once we get to the point where we can go full time on it, just like Barney has, then that's seriously exciting. Then it is scaling like, okay, it's me, you and Barney taking trips to like studio spaces in like 6 months time to be like, okay, cool, let's find somewhere we can make a new studio, and God knows wherever you go from there. And then hiring new people to do edits and all this kind of stuff. So exciting.
It really is.
And you just scale it out to be just like the dominating podcast presence. Anyone in like the UK that is thinking about starting a podcast, there's no other way. You're just going to come to us. That is seriously cool.
That really is.
To be the best at something.
Yeah, it is.
Like when you want to order a book or a DVD, you can go to HMV's website, but you're going to Amazon.
True.
You're just going to Amazon.
Even if it's a bit more.
Even if it's a bit more. And A, it won't be.
Mm.
And B, it will get to you faster. And it's Amazon. It's just like, why? Maybe if I go... Nah, just go to Amazon.
Yeah.
Just fucking prime it.
Yeah.
And, if you want like a creative laptop and you're like, oh, I want a laptop for my, 17-year-old son. He's into graphic design. Just get him a MacBook. Well, we could. There are good PCs. There absolutely are good PCs, but just get him a fucking MacBook. It will be, that's perfect. Just don't think about it.
True.
You want to get to that point where it's like, oh, you want to do a podcast? Yeah, dude, just go to the ground floor. Really? Yeah. But what about, dude, just trust me. You're going to be chasing your tail, fiddling around with SD cards and, that's the other thing. You record it anywhere else, you have to bring your own SD cards and get and if you want the files to be sent to you, you have to pay
for that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I remember when we started recording
Shocked.
at another studio, we if you didn't bring your own SD cards, which cost like fucking 65 quid a pop, by the way, and if you have 3 cameras and a microphone, that's like over 150 odd quid that you're spending on cards. But if you didn't have your own cards and you wanted to just like record it on their cards and have them send you the file, just to transfer you the file, 30 quid.
It's crazy how quickly it adds up.
It adds up, man.
It really does.
So, to be able to say like, yeah, if you go to the ground floor, you don't have to worry about fiddling about with SD cards. You don't have to fiddle around with any of the tech. They've got someone in the room. He takes care of everything for you. All the edits, you'd have to download Adobe Premiere Pro and learn how to use that, or Final Cut. Okay, I think I can figure out. Dude, hey, how do you get the audio to get... None of that bullshit. I've got my... the image of my face, but how do I make it... Because it's going black when I try to do it, but I did paste it. All of that finicky bullshit.
All goes.
Just all gone.
Damn.
But we want something for our social media and stuff. Yeah, dude, done. But we want clips with the... How do you put the text on the clip so they can see the subtitle? Done. We have shorts with captions, subtitles, cuts, all the dead space cut out, full edit, done. Logo popped on, TV, done. Like everything done.
Everything is just slick. Really slick.
And that kind of brings out that like... that like exciting like... competitive, like entrepreneurial, like warlord kind of spirit in you where you're like, I want to be the best. I want to take down the competition.
Yeah.
This is fucking war. I want to have the best product. I want to serve the most people. I want to bring the most value.
We found a way to do it.
And we found a way to do it. So now it's just a question of getting it out there. I've pumped myself up by talking about this now.
Yeah. You pumped me up.
You pumped up, bud?
Yeah. Barney's typing more aggressively now, so yeah, he's bumped up as well.
Just slamming his keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do. We just need eyes on it. That will be our limitation,
And we will get eyes on it.
we'll just need eyes on it. Yeah. Damn, man. Exciting times.
Extremely.
Very exciting times. I do find it ironic how we've gone 360 though.
Yeah,
I do find that ironic. I know when you break it down, everything makes sense as to why we have, but I find it ironic. But you're right. It's all part of the journey.
Yeah, but we could. Yeah, but we couldn't have. We had to have.
I know
that
we couldn't have
first
done
model.
A without. We couldn't have done B without
do you
doing
know-
A and
yeah.
C without doing B.
But
and,
that is really cool when you think about it, because when we were recording at the other studio that we had to pay by the hour for, that was nowhere near as good as our current studio. When we were recording there, and we were like, oh, should we take the risk on like investing in our own studio? And we just gotten sponsorship money, and we're like, okay, well, we've got this sponsorship money. Rather than paying ourselves for the podcast, let's just invest in a studio. It's like, yeah, but then we're on the hook for rent. It's like, yeah, but dude, like even if we do this many hours a month, like we'll be able to cover it, whatever. And then getting the studio, then realizing that actually that was going to be really unprofitable, and thinking we couldn't even record in here in the first place and all this kind of stuff, to then being like, well, actually you should just target businesses because there's way more capital, they're way more inclined to do it. Then trying that and realizing actually less businesses want it than you think, or they don't want it as much as you think they want it. They would rather do
or at a different price point.
or a different price point, whatever. Then pricing it way too high, and then bringing the price way down, and then and then trying this high. And then what about if we do on the side offer consumers? Because then people will want to record it because we know there's a market for consumers. And then doing that, and then it's like, well, do we split between two? And all of that to get to this part. But it's only by realizing all the problems of all the different avenues. Because also, it's not just about the problems we had when we recorded at another studio. It's also now the problems that we realize that businesses have. So the objections businesses have, when businesses are like, yeah, we really want to do it. We think there's real value in it, but we don't think it's worth this much money. Or if we think it's worth this much money, we think it should also come with this, or it shouldn't come with that. We're less fussed about that, but we do want to use that. All of that stuff has led us to be able to create the offer that everyone wants.
True.
And by the time we launch this next week, we will have launched.
Yeah, we'll be live. Yeah.
By the time this comes out.
Yeah, everything will be live. Will be up. Adverts will be running. Website will be live. People will be booking. We'll be getting notifications.
Getting those Stripe notifications.
Getting those Stripe notifications.
Dude. Just think about the Stripe notifications when you got three studios.
That in of itself is
when you got three studios.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I have to put them on mute. I definitely wouldn't put them on mute.
Put them on mute.
Definitely wouldn't put them on mute. Lots to be excited about.
Very exciting times. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about our business, please do leave them in the comments, and we will make sure we get back to you on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. We're documenting the journey of growing this business every single week. And other than that, we will see you in the next one. And also, like we said earlier in the episode, if you are looking to start a podcast, whether you're a business or an individual, if you are even remotely curious about it, we have the ultimate solution for you. That is the whole point of this new business. You're probably sick of us talking about it. So if you want to check it out yourself, you can check it out from the link down here. As we said, £175 for an hour, better than anyone else in London. And that gives you a full video edit, full audio edit. You have a producer in the room, free tea and coffee, as well as social media short form clips, so that you don't have to worry about anything at all. So thanks for watching. We appreciate all of you, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.